A 31-year-old tribal woman of 3 was allegedly assaulted and killed in her own home in Manipur's Jiribam district. Now, according to reports, armed intruders stormed the settlement, terrorizing the residents with gunfire, looting and arson. Now, in the aftermath, 17 homes were in fact left gutted. The victim's husband had filed a complaint with the Jiribam police stating his wife was killed after being assaulted at their residence in Zairawan village. Now, police have said that they'll be sending the woman's charred remains to Silchar in Assam for forensic testing. Jiribam Superintendent of Police informed the district magistrate that although forensic facilities are available in Imphal, transporting the body by road is challenging due to the ongoing ethnic crisis along the National Highway 37. I'm joined in by Kartikeya Sharma, Deputy Managing Editor for News9. Kartikeya Sharma, this is again another fresh violent incident that has been reported, and this happened in Jiribam, where the first efforts towards peace was also carried out. This in fact reflects that on the ground the tensions are really high.
Let me just go through, thank you, first of all, Verghese, for allowing me to speak on this issue. And let me just take you through the coverage that has happened. If you look at the coverage, the leading newspaper Hindustan Times has reported that Manipur tents as militants shoot and burn a tribal woman. This is the coverage of leading national newspapers. The second newspaper has said that a mother of 3 raped and killed in Manipur, 17 homes torched. These are the reportage. So I'm just going by the first, what has been reported by Delhi newspaper. Then the third newspaper says that armed extremists shot, captured and burned a tribal woman to death apart from torching at least a dozen houses in Manipur's Jiribam district on Thursday night. This has been reported by Hindu. So I have quoted 3 newspapers. So let us go into the narrative part as to how this report has been taken up by various newspapers. So the Times of India is saying that FIR based on a complaint filed by the victim's husband with the Jiribam police mentions rape and murder based on racial and communal grounds. And criminal trespass, the assailant suspected to be from the valley hadn't been identified until Friday. Now, this is a very important aspect of it. Now, right now, when we say that this violence has taken place, we are saying that the violence has taken place between militants and police. We say violence has taken place between 2 armed groups, but this time the violence has taken place between a family who had nothing to do with any of the armed group and an armed militant. The man said, this has been reported by Times of India, and it said, the man said his wife was brutally murdered, sexually assaulted at our residence in Zairawan village, reviving the horror of the first few weeks. This really revives the horror of the first few weeks of the ethnic violence. Now, problem is that the Jiribam, as you very rightly said, is one place where efforts were made to have some sort of a consensus between the Cookies and the Maitis. And let me tell you, there are subgroups also. So now let me try to locate the place of violence, and let me try to locate as to what happened in context of the complainant. In Hindustan Times, they are reporting that according to people familiar with the matter, the suspected member of the radical media group was involved, and the village is dominated by the Mar community. Now, if you remember, we had done a lot of programs on the Thados and the Mars, and how the chief minister was trying to get smaller communities together. Now, why has this happened? Why a particular family which had nothing to do with violence has got into the crossfire is something very, very disturbing. Because if you look at the initial days, and when I say violence, it had nothing to do. The politics had been at the receiving end. Now, I'm joined by Michael Lanjotang Hauke, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, but someone who understands this issue very well, and someone who has been a victim of violence himself. His house has been burned, his ancestral property has been burned. Michael, thank you so much for joining me. I know you can very well understand the pain of this violence that has happened. Can you put us in perspective that what has happened in Jiribam. And why is this happening in Jiribam, Michael? Can you
My
unmute yourself? Yes.
yeah, I already yes, I already I'm
Please,
I'm
please, please go ahead.
okay. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes,
Yes, can you hear me?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So first of all, that incident was quite unfortunate and highly condemnable by all right-thinking citizens of the state, and we strongly condemn such heinous crime, the strongest term. And secondly, I don't know what happened. There are some elements who always wants to disturb the uh, uh, you know limping back of normalcy in the districts, like particularly in Jiribam. So is this violence only communal, or does it involve some sort of local misunderstanding? I'm not so sure, but it is very clear that the Zyron comes under Mar village, particularly a Mar village. So knowingly, how does the Meitei uh, attack Mar village? Is it something beyond communal, or is there any other sort of local problem that prompted the Meitei mobs and the Meitei militants or armed groups to take over and attack the uh, uh, such type of arson and killing? And secondly, it's it's a kind of peace process that has been lingering on, and then the district administration and the superintendent of police have to expedite the local understanding between the two, because at this point of time, at any moment, anything can happen because of the sensitivity. So the cookies and the Mars and the yes, in fact, the cookies are not involved in the peace process. Yes, Thado are very minimal in that Jiribam areas, and particularly the Jiribam areas of the non-Naga tribes are dominated by the Mar people. So the Mar have taken up a bold steps to not to have a kind of peace and non-violence and
Michael,
understanding.
just to
But
Michael,
nevertheless,
Mi-
that doesn't
Michael,
stop them.
just a minute. Michael, just to add to it, 17 houses were burned, and people, when entering the village, they started burning houses and firing their automatic guns. This is being reported in Hindustan Times, because there are a number of reports that has come out. Now, what has happened is that the paper reports that the Jilbam superintendent of police SP, Khamdam Robinson Singh, has written to District Magistrate Krishna Kumar on Friday seeking permission for the post-mortem examination to be conducted in Silchar district bordering Assam, as Jirbam did not have a proper facility of forensic medicine. And it was inconvenient to transport the body to Imphal. In the communication, the SP said that the police have invoked rape charges and FIR registered under BNS section Bharatiya Achar Sanhita 64.1 and 1032. Now, this is the complaint based on the statement of the husband, and the forensic investigation will take place. Issue is why, the reason why I keep on coming back to these issues. Why is Jiribam becoming the new epicenter? There's some sense of control in Imphal. There is some sense of control in More. There is some sense of control in Chura Chandpur. Jiribam is one place when the advanced liaison security car of the chief minister went. It was fired upon by the militants. The same place the violence had taken place earlier. So is there a specific context in which the violence in Jiribam does not settle down, Michael?
The coordination security agencies, various security agencies are there are multiple security agencies. Coordination needs to be more effectively, engaged in the region. And being a small town, Jeroboam is a small town, but the location is the terrain, the location is quite difficult, because some of the police administration are under the control of the Tamenglong district and the Ferzol districts on the southern part. So that makes the security coordination also unable to effectively, implement effectively curb up the securities in those areas. That is also one difficulties for the securities finding it difficult. And moreover, they are very close by. Zairon and Mobung Sejang, the place where the earlier the cookies and the Meiteis have a fight, a class, is very close, half kilometers between Mongbung Sejang and Tamenglong districts of Haitol village. So that Zairon is located in between that two particular villages. So that's purely a Mar village, but I don't know. Maybe what prompted the Meitei, maybe because of some sort of risking or checking or some kind of harassment which the Meitei also must have faced. I'm not so sure, but whatever the case it may be, the security have to be effectively manned or managed those areas. And I suggest that there should be a proper coordination between the various security agencies like CRPF,
But it
Manipur
also,
Police,
but it
some
also goes
rifles.
on to,
Yeah,
it also goes on to prove, Michael, that both Maiti and Kuki militants are operating in Jiribam. It's not one
right,
way.
right, right,
Maiti and
right,
Kuki
right.
militants are operating in Jiribam, and strict action needs to be taken against both these
Absolutely.
organizations.
Yeah, of course. That sort of security coordination needs to be there. But the difficulties is but the administrative point of view, it lies between Jiribam district SP and Tamenglong district SP. So the Kuki militants, they might have taken up some criminal activities in Jiribam district, and then they flee to Tamenglong district side or Ferjol district side. That makes a kind of security agencies difficult to effectively provide
These are,
proper security.
Michael, these are nitty-gritties, I as a, I as a citizen don't understand, but I do feel very sad about the fact that innocent people are being killed, and their
That's the main
bloodshed is
concern.
not,
That's the main concern.
the bloodshed
That's the
is
main
not stopping
concern.
in Manipur, and every 50th day we have to report a gruesome incident from Manipur in which a person, it's being reported. I mean to say, in which civil society this sort of a headline is reported in New Delhi. I mean to say, I thought gone are the days, and these are the headlines reported. In New Delhi, this is so disturbing when you read a news like this, that a Manipur 10 says militant shoot burn tribal women. I mean to say, in which civil society does it happen? You have, the morning you get up and you have to read headlines like these. Morning you get up and you have to read headlines like these. Headlines like these. You have to read headlines like these. So I mean, so there has to be some tracking of the whip, which doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah. So I think I think security agencies find it difficult to control, and in fact, most of the people are there is lack of sane mind or sane voice. None of the civil societies, can't control their own people in terms of violence. So I really don't understand what exactly went wrong when when they are very clearly belongs to Mar tribe, and when they are in talking terms with the Métis. So I don't expect such type of attack, despite the provoke from the Kuki sides to derail the peace process. So whatever the case it may be, there should be a kind of maximum restraint from the Métis side, so that the Mar should be somehow secured, and a kind of peace confidence building has to be come up. Whatever the cases may be, the Meitei side also should understand that there is law enforcing agencies. If there is any grievances or any genuine or justifiable grievances that has affected them by the Kuki militants. So I think the Meitei side have to think once again, and then whoever in talking terms like the Mar, the Thado, have to be given proper secure kind of thing. And
Before I toss back to Varghese, Michael, today the reason why I got you on the program, a lot of people were thinking that why is Kartike speaking to Michael, not to a security expert who come to my show, because I wanted to tell them I'm also speaking to a person whose house has been burned. I'm not only
true,
speaking to
true.
a politician, I'm also speaking to a victim of violence, and I'm saying this
Right,
again
right.
because Michael's house has been burned, Michael's ancestral house has been burned. So I am talking today not to a BJP spokesperson or a politician or someone comes on News9 show. I am actually speaking to a victim of violence जिसका अपना घर जला है, एक बार नहीं दो बार जला है, दो अलग-अलग जगह जल गया है. So, and displacement of people, innocent people being killed should invite the harshest punishment. I think the security forces, whatever the logistics of the issues might be, should go and get these criminals and book them and give them the harshest punishment they deserve. It does, and it should be like it should, it's without any fear or any concern whether they are whether they belong to any community or that community. I think the law is equal in this country. And at the end of it, Verghese, I would and thank you, Michael, for joining me. Would say that this is extremely disturbing. It reminds me of that photograph in which two women got caught in 2023. It sparked a national outrage. It sparked a national outrage. And this too should spark outrage that, the people are being killed and, the bodies are being burned. I think, Verghese, it's the point of this coverage is to ensure that we will not let go Manipur as a side story. And I made this promise to my viewers way back in 2023 that I will not let go of Manipur as a story. News9 will be committed to picking up stories from Manipur. We might be late here and there, it's a national news channel. We might not have been able to give huge coverage because of other pressing things, but Manipur will remain part of our coverage on a continuous basis. The depth might vary, but we will not forget Manipur, Verghese.